Over the past several months, the United States and Iran have been playing an international game of footsie. The relationship has started off very timid. However, in late 2013, the relationship finally started getting serious. Loosely paraphrased from the BBC of January 14th, 2014, the United States decided to take the relationship to the next level. The United States decided to take off Iran sanctions and show them exactly what a real economy is like. Already, this has led to a more positive relationship between these two countries. As the United States has taken off Iran sanctions, they're no longer forced to abide under these, and their economy is free to flourish as it may. However, Iran is still worried that Obama and the United States might not be taking this relationship as seriously as they would have liked. They feel like they're getting some mixed signals. So, they're being very tentative and are not sure exactly what to expect from the United States. So today, we will answer today's question of, is the U.S. sending mixed signals to Tehran when President Obama tells businesses that are doing business in Tehran that the U.S. will enforce sanctions? And we will see that the answer to this question is a genuine and heartfelt no. He really means it this time. And we will see that this is true by examining three main points. First, because President Obama has already stuck true to his word. Second, because they have already enforced serious security. And finally, because the United States, unlike Iran, has nothing to lose. To begin, we will see that Barack Obama is not sending mixed messages anymore to Iran and will enforce sanctions if need be because he's already proven to be serious and stuck to his word. Initially, when this went forth, the United States and the international community was worried that by lifting these sanctions, it was just what the United States hoped that they were going to take advantage of Iran's economy and use them for oil. However, this was not the case. According to the New York Times, on January 27, 2013, after these sanctions have been lifted and Iran's economy has been given enough time to grow, the United States has not drastically increased the amount of exports that they are sending to Iran. The article states that before and after, the United States is currently standing at about 1 million barrels of oil a day. By maintaining this, it's clear that the United States has been holding true to its word so far. Another thing that they were sure to mention was that the United States, along with the United Nations, would begin implementing a higher level of security throughout Iran, just to ensure that they could trust them. And this has also been the case. According to the Washington Post of January 28, 2013, because the United States and the United Nations are so deep within Iran, it's clear that they have reason to be trustful, and they have stuck to their word, and Iran knows exactly what to expect from them. Second, we can go on to see that the United States is no longer sending mixed messages to Iran by saying they will impose sanctions because they have imposed this higher level of security. As previously mentioned, the United States and the United Nations have both employed very deep security forces within Iran in order to ensure that they don't use this nuclear power in order to create a bomb. According to the Christian Science Monitor on January 17, 2013, they have been doing this they've been doing very well at this so far. They have employed many UN security forces within the uranium purification facilities themselves in order to ensure that they're not able to get them to the level that is needed for a bomb. Because they are so integrated within this system, it's clear that the United States is taking a very serious approach to this uranium enriching process, meaning that they are very serious about their threats of bringing back these economic sanctions. Furthermore, the United States has been using more advanced technology in order to ensure that this uranium is not being enriched to levels needed for a bomb. According to the New York Times of January 13, 2013, the United States has been using advanced models of barometers, or meters that can track where radiation is coming from. By using this, they'd be able to implement exactly where this radiation is coming from their country, and by doing this, have even more security to hold Iran accountable, further proving that the United States is getting pretty serious. Finally, we can go on to see that the United States is no longer sending mixed messages because the United States, unlike Iran, has nothing to lose. The United States is primarily using Iran as an import for oil. However, according to a New York Times article of January 21st, 2013, Iran is not our primary source of oil. the United States has many other allies that would be willing to sell us oil if need be. Iran, on the other hand, is very desperate for a relationship with a country. It's getting to that point in this country's life where it's time to start making decisions and buckle down with a country that it really loves. Already after these sanctions have been lifted, according to an Economist article of January 17, 2013, Iran's GDP has grown a full 2%. And by July of 2014, it's projected that Iran's inflation will be reduced 30% from where it was before these sanctions were in place. Examining this, it's clear that Iran has been reaping the full benefits of these sanctions being lifted. While this is very good for Iran, it's clear that they will not want to trick the United States into something it doesn't want to do, and they will be able to maintain these restrictions on their country so that these sanctions will not be put back in place and they can continue reaping the benefits. So in returning to the question today, is the United States sending mixed signals to Tehran when President Obama tells businesses that are doing business in Iran that the U.S. will enforce sanctions? We saw that the answer to this question was a clear, genuine, heartfelt no, for 3 reasons. First, because Obama has already stuck to his word. Second, he's already proven to implement these strict security forces. And finally, because the United States, unlike Iran, has nothing to lose. Taking all 3 of these things into account, it's clear that this relationship, although early in its days, is still growing and will have benefits for both countries. If Iran is able to maintain this level of security within their country and not go on to develop a bomb, this relationship has the potential to go on and continue increasing to help benefit both of these countries. Only then will they be able to realize that maybe after all, they were perfect for each other all along.
Hi, Shane.
Hey, Grace.
First off, great speech.
Thank you.
To start with, I just was, for a point of clarification, could you talk a little bit, are these the sanctions that have existed on Iran historically since the revolution, or have these come more recently since the negotiations with Rouhani?
These are definitely the ones that have been put in place on the economy for quite some time. And after Rouhani, we finally started getting these negotiations to take these sanctions away instead of implementing new ones.
So overall, what reasonable expectation is there of an Iran without sanctions from the United States?
It's all really dependent on whether or not Iran is able to abide by these negotiations that they decided on before these sanctions were taken off. If Iran is able to do this, which it seems likely that they're already abiding by all of these rules, then we can expect to see these sanctions to be further removed and even further boosting Iran's economy.
And do those rules just consist of stopping the uranium enrichment?
Yeah, they still need to enrich some uranium to the point where they can use it for power, but as far as enriching it to the point of a nuclear bomb, they're monitoring that and to ensure that that will not be the case.
Do you think that it is a concern for the probability of future U.S.-Iran relations that the United States doesn't trust Iran to self-report their uranium enrichment and that they still have these security measures implanted in the nation?
It may be harmful to the relationship, but after time goes on and they really start to really connect on a more personal interaction level, they may find that they can trust each other, but these security forces will likely remain in place regardless. And where Iran's still getting the economic benefits, I don't think they should have too big of a problem with that.
And then my last question is that you spoke a little bit to how we can trust President Obama to hold his word in terms of what he said regarding the sanctions. But Congress also has a role in both approving and removing sanctions on any nation. Does that pose a wild card to these negotiations? Because Congress has a distinctly anti-Iran stance that sometimes isn't reflected executively.
That is definitely a possibility, and anything can happen. However, with the president's guidance currently, I don't think that would be the case, and we should be able to implement these sanctions being off of Iran for long enough for the Congress to realize that there's nothing to worry about and to see their economy grow.